Or as we started the main topic today, business is a business, we're discussing about how the industry wants you to really have your stuff together and operating as a business. Now the interesting part is, just like I'm telling people they should start and own their own businesses anyhow and then decide whether they want to go with them, you don't even necessarily have to attract a record company as we know it today. And a record company as we know it today could be anybody. I'm sure you've seen different other companies taking the place of record companies and acting like one, whether they be publishers or just investors. They're now major artists that say, what do we need a major label for? We'll just have an investor because, well, that's all record companies are anymore, really. They're like banks. And just like if you went for a loan to a bank, it's really hard to get one unless you show that you have a business up and running. And an investor, a smart investor, is of course going to show you what you're doing to an accountant. And an accountant's going to want to make sure that that business is up together and running correctly. Now, there's several ends to this. So obviously, the major end is first you should set up as a business. You could form an LLC. That's the way most music industries start up right now. And you can, for at least the beginning, you start as an LLC and you can have your publishing company and your record company underneath it. It'll be like a family. We have the parent company, it might be, with me it's Professor POOCH LLC. And then I could have my POOCH Stuff Publishing Company, and if I had a record company, whatever that was, etc., and a merchandise company, I could put it underneath it. And as each one of these starts to make money, yes, I would LLC it together. But temporarily, we just want to set it up legally. And if you have anybody working with you, they're going to want to know, if you have partners, that you have a partnership agreement to your LLC. And I can tell you horror stories, but we're not going to get into that right now. So we want everything together, operating totally as a business, so that we can move forward. Now, anybody you work with, let's say you're a record company. Are you signed as an artist to your record company? If you have a publishing company, are you signed as a songwriter to a publishing company? And remember, and I must make it very clear, there's a misconception that the song and the recording are one thing, and they must be treated separately. That's why you need to learn the music business, which we're going to get into. It's just super important. You have the song and you have the recording. You look at a CD. It's got a circle with a C in it. Well, that's to protect the song. It's a copyright for the song, whether it's published or unpublished. That circle with a P does not stand for publishing. It actually stands for phonogram, but it means the production. So it might be copyright 2011, excuse me, POOCH Stuff, BMI, whatever. And then circle with the P, it might be Warner Brothers Records. It's one owns the recording, one's in the publishing. But if you set it up right from the very beginning, you can and should, in the beginning, own both. But have all your paperwork together, that includes the contracts, and don't take them off the internet or from a friend. They gotta be personalized to your exact situation. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I teach entertainment law and to lawyers and people like that and other people. But I'm a contract specialist. You can come to me or you can go to an entertainment attorney. Don't go to an ambulance chaser. They're not going to be able to help you, folks. You need people that actually know the industry. When I teach entertainment law, I have to teach not just the contractual part, but the music industry that goes along with it. And you'll see a big thing about what I'm covering that's so important. How can you run a business as a business? And how can you move forward if you don't know the music industry? You should know it as best as you can, or you better have somebody that you really trust to be there alongside of you. You hear this big term nowadays, DIY, do it yourself. It's a misnomer, folks. It's like the term spare time. What's spare time? Who has spare time? It doesn't exist. You need to have a team. I might know the creative and business and legal, and I'm pretty knowledgeable. I've been in the industry 40 years. But technical, I'm lost. I don't know why something works electronically and how to hook this up. I'd be lost. With heavy computer programs, I need people to help me with that. With management, people manage me. Just like I play the bad guy for people, I need somebody to play the bad guy for me. You need a team. Yes, the team's going to be a little different maybe than it used to be, where the major label is part of your team. Now your team has to be knowledgeable people that have your best interest at heart. Knowledgeable, you got to learn the music industry. Yes, I'm an educator and it sounds like I'm pushing that totally, but it's that important. It's allowed me to be 40 years in the industry and not have to do anything else. Now the word business really turns a lot of musicians off. The word legal and contract turns a lot of people off. That's why I make it the first step. The whole trick is to get your business knowledge together, to get your business running together, to get your legal all together so you can forget about it and make music safely. And another major reason that you're going to find out as you learn the industry, if you're totally set up so that your contracts are signed to yourself, you own your publishing, you own your record company, and all that stuff like that, you'll notice something happening. And that is, all these people that would come up to you and try to rip you off because they figure this guy doesn't know what he's doing or this girl doesn't know what she's doing or whatever, and try to rip you off. If they see you have your stuff together, they're not going to bother you. At the same point in time, the people that really appreciate that you have your business together, the people that can actually do you some good, you will have on your side, and you'll be able to start moving forward. Now, education, music business education. It was funny, I was doing a radio show the other day, and all of a sudden it hit me. All these people are going to all these music business colleges and stuff, and that's good if you really want to learn the real intricacies of tiny little things. But all of a sudden, and I'm sure you've seen a bunch of articles, I've seen a ton on the internet, when nobody can pay back their school loans. They cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, where I used to teach, it costs a ton of money, and you spend the rest of your life paying it off. But what I realized last week when I was on this show is that by the time you finish 2 years of a music business college, it's passed you by. The industry, as you know, has been changing day to day. There's something new every day. It's been going crazy for the last 2 years. So by the time you graduate, it's already past tense, and you got to learn a lot again. And I have, it's a sad part of it is a lot of people that graduated from major music business schools then come to me to find out what's really going on in the industry today. There is an alternative I ask you at least to check out is on my site, ProfessorPooch.com. There's tons of free information. If you go on my Facebook, Facebook.com/ProfessorPooch, I'm always posting the latest of the latest. But I'm known for, I have a book on the music industry, and I've written courses, complete music business education. I've been calling it Music Business Complete. And people ask me, well, why don't I put it in book form? Or why don't I put it on CDs or whatever? And I tell them it's very simple. I like to keep things up to date, so I put them in PDF files, so when you download them, you know it's up to date to that time. Yes, I do a thorough going through my book of courses like every 4 months or so, but any little change I could put right in, and that's why I do is PDF, because to me, if I want to know what's happening today, not what happened a year and a half ago. So I'm asking you to at least, check out ProfessorPooch.com. There's tons of blogs, there's a lot of stuff you can read. Go to the free library, there's all kinds of articles that really help you. One of the major things that I've talked about with Artists United is before you sign with anyone, or everything you need to do to be prepared for everything you want to do in the music industry, which was too long of a title. And you will learn the 12 major steps for putting together that legal and business end. It's in the free library, the second article, and yes, you can listen to it. Music people nowadays, they don't want to read, they want to listen, so it's an audio, folks. So all my blogs and stuff are also as POOCHcasts, so they're audio, and you can get a really good understanding of what's really going on in the industry, and that's what I want.